Hello, welcome everybody back to the discussion of the most confidential knowledge. We are continuing to read Bhagavad Gita to understand what's the purpose of our life, what are we supposed to do to make us happy. And we just read the first text and we're just reading some commentary on that text. So if you haven't seen the first episode, please go watch it. It will make more sense of what's happening. So the topics discussed by Dhritarashtra and Sanjaya, as described in the Mahabharata, form the basic principle for this great philosophy. It is understood that this philosophy evolved on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, which is a sacred place of pilgrimage from the immemorial time of the Vedic age. It was spoken by the Lord when he was present personally on this planet for the guidance of mankind. So, as we discussed last time, this text is very special. It's a very sacred text for the whole humanity because the God speaks directly here. And even though you may be atheistic in your views, you may be agnostic, or you may hold different views, it doesn't matter, because in this book it's amazing because Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, doesn't say believe in me, right? In this book he says try to understand me, who I am and who you are. So it will be very, very clear if you can use intelligence, which is only available to humans. It's not available to animals, any other species of life. So we can apply our intelligence, logic, reasoning and doubt, critical thinking, to understand who we are in the first place, before we can even talk about God. Who am I? Am I this body? Am I this hand? It's really, really different what it used to be 10 years ago. So it doesn't make much sense. Anyway, let's see what's going on. So Dhritarashtra and Sanjaya are discussing. Dhritarashtra is away from the battlefield, and he is asking his servant Sanjaya what is happening on the battlefield. Sanjaya, using his mystic powers, translates what's happening on the battlefield. He can see, actually. So the commentary continues. The word Dharma Kshetra, a place where religious rituals are performed, is significant because on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, the Supreme Personality of Godhead was present on the side of Arjuna. Remember, this is Krishna and this is Arjuna, the son of the Pandu, one of the 5 Pandu brothers. Dhritarashtra, the father of the Kurus, was highly doubtful about the possibility of his son's ultimate victory. In his doubt, he inquired from his secretary Sanjaya, what did they do? He was confident that both his sons and the sons of his younger brother Pandu were assembled in that field of Kurukshetra for a determined engagement of the war. Still, his inquiry is significant. He did not want a compromise between the cousins and brothers, and he wanted to be sure of the fate of his sons on the battlefield. Because the battle was arranged to be fought at Kurukshetra, which is mentioned elsewhere in the Vedas as a place of worship, even for the denizens of heaven, Dhritarashtra became very fearful about the influence of the holy place on the outcome of the battle. He knew very well that this would influence Arjuna and the sons of Pandu favorably, because by nature they were all virtuous. Sanjaya was a student of Vyasa, and therefore by the mercy of Vyasa, Sanjaya was able to envision the battlefield of Kurukshetra even while he was in the room of Dhritarashtra. So Dhritarashtra could feel, I'm on the wrong side, I'm doing bad, I'm not following the laws of God, and I'm not creating a favorable atmosphere for my citizens in my country. I'm conducting a lot of misbehavior, cheating my nephews. So he could feel, we're gonna lose that battle. And especially if they fight in the place of pilgrimage, in the holy place, if you're doing everything according to the law of God in your life, if you follow regulative principles, if you don't commit sins, then guess what? That place is gonna benefit you, because you're on the right side, you're on the side of light, not on the dark side. Sanjaya had a teacher, his name was Vyasadev. So by the mercy of Vyasa, it says he could see what was happening on the battlefield of Kurukshetra by not being physically present there. And so Dhritarashtra asked him about the situation on the battlefield. Both the Pandavas and the sons of Dhritarashtra belong to the same family, but Dhritarashtra's mind is disclosed herein. He deliberately claimed only his sons as Kurus, and he separated the sons of Pandu from the family heritage. One can thus understand the specific position of Dhritarashtra in his relationship with his nephews, the sons of Pandu. As in the paddy field, the unnecessary plants are taken out, so it is expected from the very beginning of these topics that in the religious field of Kurukshetra, where the father of religion, Sri Krishna, was present, the unwanted plants, like Dhritarashtra's son, Duryodhana, and others, would be wiped out, and the thoroughly religious persons, headed by Yudhishthira, would be established by the Lord. This is the significance of the words Dharmakshetri and Kurukshetri, apart from their historical and Vedic importance. So, can you just imagine the value of the sacred text? Based on the first text we read, there is so much meaning in each word spoken of the Bhagavad Gita, especially when we come to Arjuna speaking and Krishna speaking. Specifically, when the Supreme Lord says something, you will find you can go deeper and deeper in your understanding of what he says. Actually, you can read this book again and again, and you will find more and more meaning in your life, and you will gain more and more wisdom. So, let's continue. Text 2. Sanjaya Uvacha Drishtva Pandavanikam Vyutam Duryodhanastada Acharyam Upasangamya Raja Vachanam Abravit. Sanjaya said, O king, after looking over the army arranged in a military formation by the sons of Pandu, King Duryodhana went to his teacher and spoke the following words. So, it was a fight that was necessary, and sometimes people will say, look at the sacred text, it's talking about fight and, killing. What's going on? Isn't religion supposed to be about mercy, kindness, forgiveness? And all of this will be revealed in this book. The circumstances are such that they present difficulty in our life. They rather represent the difficulty of our lives. So it's not always easy. Actually, most of the time we face some challenges. And that's what it about to teach us what to do in the time of challenge, in the time of difficulty. So, King Duryodhana is one of the main sons of Dhritarashtra. And commentary continues. Purport of the text: Dhritarashtra was blind from birth. Unfortunately, he was also bereft of spiritual vision. He knew very well that his sons were equally blind in the matter of religion, and he was sure that they could never reach an understanding with the Pandavas, who were all pious since birth. Still, he was doubtful about the influence of the place of pilgrimage, and Sanjaya could understand his motive in asking about the situation on the battlefield. Sanjaya wanted, therefore, to encourage the despondent king, and thus assured him that his sons were not going to make any sort of compromise under the influence of the holy place. Sanjaya therefore informed the king that his son Duryodhana, after seeing the military force of the Pandavas, at once went to the commander-in-chief Dronacharya to inform him of the real position. Although Duryodhana is mentioned as the king, he still had to go to the commander on account of the seriousness of the situation. He was therefore quite fit to be a politician. But Duryodhana's diplomatic veneer could not disguise the fear he felt when he saw the military arrangement of the Pandavas. Very important to note, you may be assuming that on this place there are, everyone, public is involved, civilians, but no. Nowadays, if we start a war, public will be damaged in the first place. If someone drops a nuclear bomb, it will be on, people who, like innocent people, not military men. And that's the problem of today's day and age. At the place of Kurukshetra, the place of pilgrimage, they all assembled there because it was a desert. There was no one there, and there was only men who were fighting, no children, no women, no old men, no one there who, like from the innocent public, was involved. It was only men, and it was only military men with weapons, everyone. There was no, innocent people involved. So kind of just to balance out what may seem to be a cruel condition of the war, it was actually very structured in the sense that it was according to the battle rules, that everyone was a warrior there to fight. But here you see Duryodhana is approaching the chief commander, Dronacharya. So although he was the king, he still listened to the advice of more wise men. Text 3. Pashaitam panduputranam acharya mahatim chamum vidam drupada putrinam tava shishyena dimatam. O my teacher, behold the great army of the sons of Pandu, so expertly arranged by your intelligent disciple, the son of Drupada. Purport. Duryodhana, a great diplomat, wanted to point out the defects of Dronacharya, the great Brahmana commander-in-chief. Dronacharya had some political quarrel with King Drupada, the father of Draupadi, who was Arjuna's wife. Okay, that's a lot. So Duryodhana, he was a great diplomat, great politician, and what he was pointing out, there was some defect of Dronacharya. So Dronacharya, he was not actually a chief commander like a general military man, rather he was a Brahmana commander. And it's very important, what does Brahmana mean? Brahmana means of a priestly personality. He was a priest. He had the qualities of a priest. So in Vedic society, the king, he was not the top of the government. He was the ultimate ruler of the government. He would impose the laws, he would protect the citizens, but Brahmanas, the priests who used to live a very simple life and engage in service to the Lord every day, recite prayers. So they were more wise. They had more time to spend on reading sacred texts, so they were more wise in the sense of what to do. Therefore, the kshatriyas, the fighters, and the king, he would consult the priests, the chief priest especially, in terms of what to do. So everyone had different qualities. But there was a hierarchy. It's nothing to do with the caste system. Anyone could become a Brahmana, depending if you develop the qualities, the right qualities of forgiveness, mercy, and so on. But that will be discussed later on. So Dronacharya had some political quarrel with King Drupada, the father of Draupadi, who was Arjuna's wife. Arjuna had a wife, her name was Draupadi, and her father was Drupada. And Dronacharya, that Brahmana commander, he had some quarrel. As a result of this quarrel, Drupada performed a great sacrifice, by which he received the benediction of having a son who would be able to kill Dronacharya. Dronacharya knew this perfectly well, and yet as a liberal Brahmana, he did not hesitate to impart all his military secrets when the son of Drupada, Drishtadyumna, was entrusted to him for military education. Now on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, Drishtadyumna took the side of the Pandavas, and it was he who arranged for their military phalanx, after having learned the art from Dronacharya. Duryodhana pointed out this mistake of Dronacharya's so that he might be alert and uncompromising in the fighting. By this, he wanted to point out also that he should not be similarly lenient in battle against the Pandavas, who were also Dronacharya's affectionate students. Arjuna especially was his most affectionate and brilliant student. Duryodhana also warned that such leniency in the fight would lead to defeat. Wow, so what happens is Arjuna had a wife, Draupadi, and her father is Drupad. He had a son also, Drishtadyumna. So now 5 Pandavas and Drishtadyumna, they all were students of Dronacharya. Dronacharya taught them how to fight. He taught them the military art, how to shoot arrows, how to use sword and everything. And therefore, which is really amazing, because Dronacharya knew that Drishtadyumna would kill him. Why? Because he got that blessing. Drupada, when Drishtadyumna was born, it says his son would be able to kill Dronacharya. So Dronacharya, knowing that this person, Drishtadyumna, is gonna kill me in the future, I will still teach him the military art, which is, no one is gonna do it these days. But this is kind of the basic principles of religion, right? If I'm a teacher and a student comes to me and he wants to learn from me, I'm gonna teach him, regardless, if whatever I tell him is gonna kill me. So that's, no one is gonna do it these days. But back in that time, people were more pious. They were more honest and truthful. So they just did what was right. Right? They did what was necessary, what was the right thing to do, rather than people in today's day and age, they do what I feel like is gonna satisfy me, what I like, instead of what is right. So yeah, it's really interesting what's gonna happen. So please stay tuned. We'll continue reading this sacred text, and then there is so much more to learn. There is so much more to discuss. It's an ocean and we can go on for hours, but hopefully in the end, what you can take away, you can find the questions to all your answers and doubts that you may have had for a long time. So stay tuned, subscribe to my channel, Mantra College, and share it with your friends, watch it with your friends, and yeah, give us a like and leave some questions in the comments. So hopefully we can answer those in our free time. Thank you. Hare Krishna.